All right, a lot of people. Thank you for joining. Markand Vaishnav is saying hello. SS Pariksha is saying hello. Yeah, you're audible. I hope I am still audible. Please give me a thumbs up if I am. Okay. Neil K. Singh is saying Radhe Radhe. Radhe. Ravi Gajera ji is giving date of birth. Not the best place to share your date of birth. Virtual world, Somya Gayen. Okay, so this is something which I said in the last video. Is I'm still repeating. The worst thing you can do for your astrology journey is to keep sharing your birth details publicly. It exposes everything. Okay, so as a well wisher, I am requesting you not to do it. It's still up to you if you want to do it. You can, but I don't think that will benefit you in any way, because see, the thing is, when you just publicly give your birth details, uh, you either it's, you are doing it during a live chat, or you're writing in your comments. I understand that things can get very difficult sometimes, but if you do it, then your problems only increase, because then you are at you are leaving it to somebody who may see, and if they do not have the best interests for you, they may be able to do something with your body details. They may do some, if they take it to a tantric, they can do something which will not benefit you, and it may affect you very may have some ghastly effects. Okay, now I'm not saying that somebody will do it, but it's Kali Yuga. You don't know what people do. It's not the best thing to do. So my humble requests, please do not do it. Okay, I'm not saying this for my channel or for today or tomorrow. Anywhere, in any website, forget YouTube. I see people doing it on websites. Please, please, please don't do it. I mean, the lives of people have been ruined to a large extent because of doing all this. Okay, so yeah, it's my humble request, please do not do it. Okay, I will keep giving this request time and again. I don't know how many will be able to follow it, but yeah, please refrain from doing it. Okay. Okay, all right, so what's the topic of today? We had another topic in mind, but we discussed something for 4 minutes, something else, right? So let's get back to today. What's the topic of today? Today's topic is wealth and nakshatras and planetary placements. It's a very interesting topic for people always. How can they know how much wealthy they will become, or in which area they will become, and how and when will they become, right? So it's very important that we understand what wealth is. And in context of Vedic tradition, we just don't say wealth is just money. Okay, that's a very gross representation of wealth. So wealth is, see, you have to understand what wealth is. If you do not understand this, then you will not be able to understand how you can become wealthy, to a certain extent, of course. In Vedic culture, there are four purusharthas, as you know. One is dharma, then artha, then kama, and then moksha, right? So first there is dharma, then there is artha, then there is kama, and then there is moksha. But what people of Kali Yuga have done is they have they have put kama in the first place, then they have put artha in the second, or for some people artha is the first, kama is the second, and dharma is the third always, and moksha is like it doesn't even exist. Okay, I see somebody might have newly joined, and they are again giving the date, time, and place. My humble request, as I said, please do not do it. It's not good for you. Please delete it. Whoever has written, delete or retract your details. It is not the best thing to do. Please do not do it. My humble request again. Okay, or maybe let me see if I can delete these comments. Let me check. Remove. Okay. Okay. Ravi Gajera ji, I'm sorry. I have to delete your comment because it is not the best thing for you. I'm sorry to do it. Actually, I'm not very apologetic because it's not in your best interest. Okay. Okay. All right. So where was I? Yeah. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, right? So for Kali Yuga, they have put Kama and Artha in the first place, and maybe the second is Dharma, if at all, and then Moksha is like it doesn't exist, right? So you have to understand why does Artha come after Dharma, right? Apparently, it seems to be very important, which is not wrong. It is one of the four Purusharthas. It is very important, but you have to understand what dharma is, because dharma leads, consistently practicing dharma for a significant period of time leads to good artha. Okay, so whenever you have problem in your dharma, then there could be a problem in your artha also, because inherently what is dharma is that which helps you to become the best version of yourself. That is what is dharma, right? And when you become the best version of yourself, you identify your traits, your challenges, your strengths, your weaknesses, your plus points, your negatives, and you work in a way that you can minimize your negatives and you can amplify your positives. Then what happens? You become an unstoppable force. Then you become wealthy of making contributions in other people's lives. Then other people are ready to pay you. That is how you become wealthy in a sense. Okay, but then for that you have to know what is, what is your dharma, what you should be doing, what are things that you are good at, what are things that you should stay away from, right? How could you have how could you have good sense control? How can you control your mind? Because the practices of dharma are essentially, in short, processes to control the mind. Nothing more than that. Okay, in essence, whichever religion you belong to, in essence it is the control of the mind. Okay, so if you have the control of the mind, then you can actually, then you can do good things, great things, excellent, like life changing things, not only for yourself but also for others. Okay, but people ignore this. They just say, oh my god, what is all this, dharma and all this, why should I be disciplined, why should I do this, why I can just earn quick money, through doing something wrong. But if you do that, eventually what happens, because that artha that you own is without doing dharma, you will eventually you'll eventually be unhappy in life. So anytime you see that somebody has artha which is giving them unhappiness, giving them misery, giving them sorrow, giving them suffering, then it simply means that they have they have earned it without dharma. This is what it means. Okay, so one of the parts of dharma is also to identify your what is your inherent disposition and inclination. So for example, what are the things that you will be good at? Okay, what are things which you should focus on, and what are some of the things which you should not focus on, and what are some of the things which you can be good at, but it's best if you either ignore them or hire somebody to do it for you. Okay, so let's talk with some examples. So for example, if somebody has a very strong 10th house and a very strong 11th house, then it means that the person has a significant focus on artha. Okay, and kama also, of course, because the 11th house is a kama house, but I'm talking in context of profession here. Okay, so there is considerable focus because the lagna lord shows focus. um, Along with that, if the 11th house is also involved along with the 10th house, then it's like 10x. 10x not results but the focus and the inclination. Along with that, you have to see our prominent planets sitting in Artha houses. So, for example, if Sun, Moon, Lagna Lord, as I said, if they are in the second, sixth, 10th, or 11th, then it can also mean uh, that the person focuses considerably on Artha and focuses more, comparatively more. Okay, and if all the planets, prominent planets, are in Artha houses, like Surya is in 10th, Moon is in second, and Lagnesh is in sixth. Wow, that's like it's all Artha. It's like 80% of the focus is on Artha, and then the rest is history. So this is important. So astrology is one of the parts of dharma which helps you to identify yourself. Okay, so using astrology, you can identify to some extent or to a large extent what you should study, what you will be good at. So, for example, if you have a strong Surya, if you have a strong Sun, strong Sun and strong Moon, then it is possible that you can try for government services like UPSC and all this. But the thing is, this is just one possibility because there are so many, like every year in India, how many people do they write UPSC exams, but how many are successful, right? And that too for IAS, it's even more difficult. So that is one possibility. Then if your sixth house is very strong and your 10th house is also very strong, because sixth house shows service, so then the probability that you can go into government increases further, because sixth house, 10th house, these are houses of service and power and position, the 10th house especially. And if you have a strong sun and moon, and if your sun dasha is around the corner or moon dasha, then you can do very good in UPSC and all this. You may not become an IAS officer, but you could do something in the government at least. Okay, so that will depend what dashas you are running, what is going on in your chart and all this. But suppose you have prominent planets in your dharma trikon, which is 1, 5, and 9. So you have ascendant lord, sun, moon sitting in these houses, or two of them in these houses. Then for you, education is very important. Then for you, maybe it's a good idea to do some masters and then do some PhD on top, postdoc or something like that. It's not it's not mandatory, but this is like a general guiding principle which I can share. So, and similarly, if people have a very strong fifth house and a very strong sixth house, then people can do very good in sports. This is what I have seen. Along with that, if you have a very strong third house, then you can do very good in marketing. Okay, now here's the thing, that's the beauty of astrology. So suppose a person has a very strong Very strong fifth house, so the person has a very strong ability to grasp knowledge, to remember a lot of things, to understand things. Fifth house is like purva punya, right? But the person has a very, how do I say this, a not so nice third house, which is like average third house, not much great placements there, no prominence of the third house, which means the person may not be very good at advertising, marketing, and all this sales. Okay. uh, these are like some principles which we can see. So then what should this person do? Then this person should hire somebody who is in sales, as a sales coach or somebody, or some marketing agency or somebody like that. Then that person will excel in their career because they are doing something related to education and learning, and then on the front somebody else is doing the marketing. Okay. So that is also something which we should identify using astrology. So it is not just so random, you say, oh yeah, your fifth house is strong, you should go into education. Sixth house is strong, you should go into sports. 10th house is strong, you should go into politics also. No, because every profession, every profession has all other professions, at a higher level. If you go every profession, any profession you take, hotelier, politician, IAS officer, education, or whatever, you just take any profession. When you form a company, there will be there will be the administrative team, then there will be HR department, then there will be sales, there will be like audit department, so many, right? So every profession at a higher level will involve multiple other professions. So you as a leader, you have to identify where you will be good at, and the areas where you are not good at, that is something which you should not try to do yourself all the time. That is something which you should hire somebody for. Okay. As I said, I gave the example of advertising, sales, marketing, and all this. Because if you try to do everything yourself in the business, it will eventually fail and crumble in the long run if you want to grow it. Okay. So therefore, just because you have some strong placements, it does not mean you will automatically be successful, because the astrologer's job is to identify from the chart, by doing a comprehensive analysis, by seeing all the factors of astrology, by trying to combine them and link them together, that that this person has success. But what are some of the areas which this person should actually focus on? Okay. Like I gave so many examples. So and equally, if you know that there are some danger areas, so let me give you an example. If you have the connection of the 10th lord along with the dusthanas, then it can mean that you should it not can actually, it means most of the times that somehow the government is how do I say this, somehow the government is interfering in your profession. Now how does the government interferes in your profession? Oh, you didn't file your taxes properly, there will be an audit, you did something wrong, the police will be behind you, somebody puts a case against you, all the nonsense happens. Okay. So if the 10th lord is connected to the dusthanas for anybody, then there could be the police or the tax department or the lawyers, they could be behind you for some reason or the other. So then as an astrologer, when you are uh, looking at that person's chart, you have to tell the person, my dear sir, my dear madam, you have these big dreams, but be very careful with the government. Have your facts right, and you should also take some insurance. Like in Germany we have, like, not in Germany, in many countries, we have this lawyer insurance. Okay. Which means you have an insurance for that if you get into trouble, somebody puts a case against you, you will have some lawyers at your disposal, and they can fight the case for you in the court, and a large portion of that will be paid to them by the insurance company. Okay, this is what is a suggestion. Somebody has serious health problems. If the Lagna Lord is related to the Dusthanas, then that this person can run into serious problems when it comes to their health, some life threatening disease or accident or something. Then you have to tell them that health insurance is mandatory for you. Here in Germany we have health insurance, but in countries like India, I know very a handful of people, even in the aristocratic circles, I'm saying, what to speak of people who cannot afford them. But even in the aristocratic circles in India, I see they have very less coverage from their health insurance. Now, if somebody has a good placement of the Lagna Lord, then you may not need to take a very high premium health insurance. But if your Dustana houses are involved, you have to. Okay, because otherwise, half of your money will go in hospital treatments. So we should be able to identify what is not just good for this person professionally. Overall, imagine this person earns like 50 lakhs or like 50,000 USD, and then there's an accident and half the money is gone. Okay, so if you could have said that you should have a good insurance, then it's like you have helped this person not lose half of his net worth. But if you didn't do that, then what happened is whatever he earned for half of his life, it's just gone. Okay. So therefore, you should be able to identify talents, like for example, the Navamsha will tell you the talents. Okay, Navamsha will tell you, what kind of things you will be good at. Like, for example, if somebody has in the Navamsha, I'm saying in the D9 chart, okay, not D1 chart. If somebody has a Surya in the trines, and if other factors support, and Surya's dispositor is also in Kendra, and if Venus is also well placed, then this person might do good in dancing. Okay, might. It's not a certainty. The person might do good in dancing. But then you have to see, for that person in the like 20s, 30s, or at least even in 40s, is a favorable dasha coming up, which is allowing this dancing as a profession to come out for this person in the external world, which is the D1. Okay, because sometimes I've seen people tell me, oh, I have this placement here in D9, I have talent as a so and so person, singer or blah blah blah, dancer or whoever. But then why don't I get success in singing, dancing, whatever? Why? Because the D1 is telling you that yes, that talent is there, but maybe you should keep that as a hobby. In this life, you are meant to do other things externally. So when you see all this holistically, you see the person's health, you see the person's financial status, you see the person's loss, expenditure, legal battles, and all this. Then you can suggest that, oh yes, my dear sir, my dear madam, okay, this is something like, you if you see charts of lawyers, you will always see that prominent planets are related to those thana houses, which means their life is always surrounded by trouble. Yeah, and that's what is the job of a lawyer. They are they're either putting somebody else in trouble or pulling people out of trouble, right? That's the job of lawyers in general. So therefore, when we see this, when we know this, then we can suggest that, okay, I think it's best if you could get some guidance on law, and how you could be a good lawyer, or so and so. Because somehow in your destiny it is indicated that you will be like surrounded, related with problems always. So once you do this, then you can know that this person should be into law. And then if there are other prominent powerful placements, then this person can also become a judge. Okay. And then if it's even better, then judge of a high court, even better, judge of a supreme court, even better, than the chief justice of the supreme court. So therefore, once you see the overall chart, you will realize what are the strengths and weaknesses of this person. These are just some examples that I'm sharing. And once you do that, then you can go to the next level, which is, to check what is the level of success that this person is destined. Or you could say, when will this person get, or both, when is it and what is the level. Okay. So for that, when you have checked everything, and then you ultimately want to come to a conclusion what is the level of this person, then you have to see, like certain placements, like how much is the lagna and the 10th and the 11th, they are connected. Because if these three houses are somehow connected, lagna lord in 11th, 11th lord in 10th, like, or whatever ways, or lagna lord, 11th lord conjunct together in some house, or conjunct in the 10th house, or lagna lord, 10th lord conjunct in the 11th, or 10th, 11th conjunct in the lagna, then you know that this person will have massive growth compared to his society and standards where he was born. But then you have to see what kind of dashas is this person running. And on the other hand, as I said before, if the dusthana houses are very prominent, if the person has too many planets, uh, too many prominent planets related to the dusthanas, then this person will get success, can get very big success, but only after a lot of struggle, and they have to change profession and all this. So therefore, when you see this, then you realize that yes, then this person has a potential to go about to go to this level. Okay. Like, but then the next query comes, which people ignore, which is the dashas. So you have your mahadasha, you have your antardasha. That is something which people ignore always. Okay. So we'll discuss on dashas, but let's see some questions. Again, as I requested, please do not publicly give your birth details. It's not the best thing for you. And if you do it, I will, as a good well wisher for you, I will have to delete it. Okay. Please don't do that. Okay, let me see if there are some generic queries. I cannot answer specific horoscope queries, but let me see if there are some generic queries. Hi, sir. Is Leo Lagna and Cancer Lagna compatible? Is America and Brazil compatible? What do you think? They are or they are not? Yeah, it's exactly like asking that question, right? It's bizarre and it doesn't make sense. Like if you see 1/12 of the world population, which is more than half a billion, is Leo Lagna, and more than half a billion is Cancer. So 1 billion people together, will they be great together or will they spoil their lives? Okay. I would be very happy if astrology was so simple. I would be the happiest person alive. Oh, you are Leo, you are Cancer, just you're great compatible people, or you are the worst compatible people. Stay away from each other, okay? But fortunately or unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Which means we need to see the chart, we need to see where Venus is. As I recently made a video on synastry and compatibility, gun milan and all this, so I have a lot of videos. Ravali ji, please check that out. Okay. Maybe I don't know, I don't wish to judge you, but from your question it seems you have started learning astrology from some recent period of time, okay, where you are aware of lagna and Leo lagna, Cancer lagna. But it's very important that, oops, ads will be running for some viewers, sorry. So it seems you have started learning astrology, which is great. Congratulations. But we just don't predict things just by seeing the lagna. Either it's Leo or Cancer. That's not how it works. Okay. So in astrology, we see all planets, we see divisional charts, we see Ashtag Varga, we see Shadbal, we see individual placements, and we see nakshatras, and then we see what could be good. Okay. So there are no two lagnas, or whatever, which are compatible with each other. It's two complete horoscopes, individuals, which have so many, like, if not thousand, if I don't exaggerate, at least 20 to 30 factors in a chart. So, and compatibility in marriage is twofold. One is, you give an answer. Should you, will you be compatible or not? Yes or no means to such an extent that you will not divorce. Or, and the next level is, you are compatible, yes, but where? And you are compatible, no, but where? So the yes and no is very important. Okay. To what extent are you compatible? To what extent are you not compatible? Right. So these are things which we should identify, right? Otherwise, you just give a blanket answer. Oh, both are compatible, blah blah blah, and then the next day after the wedding, they give you a phone call and say, "Oh, you said something false. We are not compatible," and then the rest is history. so so please understand that the overall chart matters, and only then, when you analyze, for not for you or him or her, for both, for two people, only then you can give the final verdict. Okay. Mayank is asking, any planets nakshatra lord aspecting planet. ABCD is asking, what is role of the 11th house in this? Yes, 11th house is the Labhastan. It is the house of exponential growth. So as I said, if the Lagna and the 10th and the 11th are related, and if the nakshatra lords are also connected, for example, if the 10th lord is sitting somewhere and the nakshatra lord of the 10th lord's placement is sitting in the 11th house, or vice versa, if the 11th lord is sitting somewhere, so for example, if your 10th lord is sitting in Ashwini nakshatra, for example, I'm saying, anywhere, any ascendant, and then Ketu is sitting in the 11th. Why Ketu? Because Ketu is the lord of Ashwini, right? So then this is a great placement. And if suppose your 11th lord is Mercury, and Mercury is sitting in which nakshatra should I take? Rohini. And then your moon is sitting in the 10th house. Okay, so Mercury as the 11th lord is sitting in the nakshatra of the moon, who is in turn sitting in the 10th house. Wow, this is the best thing that can happen to you in profession. Or if you don't have this, then the second and sixth houses are somehow linked, then this can also be good, but not as good as the 10th and 11th. But again, before seeing that, you have to see what the hell should this person do in life. Is the person doing what he should do, or is the person doing something else which he does not have good knowledge, or does not have expertise, or something which the person should avoid in the long run. Okay, because that will hinder. It's like a break. Okay, so first you identify what should this person do. Without that, you cannot make a prediction of when will the person be successful, or will this person be successful at all. Okay, and to what extent. So these are all secondary questions, but I know people, they will just put their questions like, oh, when will I get success in life? And then I'm like, success in which area? So now when I ask this, people, they lose their mind. They say, how dare you ask me this? Success in which area? Tell me, success kab milega? Tell me. But as they say, you can either become the Amitabh Bachchan of cinema, or the Sachin Tendulkar of cricket. You can't become Sachin Tendulkar and Amitabh Bachchan together. Now, of course, That does not mean that Sachin Tendulkar cannot do acting or Amitabh Bachchan cannot play cricket. Doesn't mean that. Okay. But does it mean they can be like the one each other are in their respective professions, both together? Just believe it. So first job is to see what should this person do. Okay, these are so many things which I said. Once you figure out, oh yes, now we know where to go. Okay, then you can see, which dasha is coming. Is the dasha is good, bad, blah blah blah. All these are all important details which only come after identifying the person's dharma. Okay, so without dharma, without identifying this person's inclinations and strong strengths and weaknesses, it is a blunder to speak on artha. Okay, not much use. Anshika Verma is asking, sir, Venus is Leo in Leo is worse than Venus in Virgo. Again, I don't understand why you think so, or even the reverse. If you say Venus in Virgo is the worst, so I have a lot of videos on Venus. So please watch them and get a holistic understanding. Okay. But there is no dictum like, yeah, I know some astrologers say Venus in Leo will make you very egoistic and so, but that will depend on your overall chart. If you have narcissistic tendencies, then Venus in Leo can be worse than Venus in Virgo. But Venus in Virgo generally can be problematic because it can make you find faults with your spouse. Okay. But again, there are like million, maybe a billion people with Venus in Virgo, half a billion at least, right? So everybody will have a bad marriage, they will have a divorce, everybody will have separation, they will be abused or whatever. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. Or everybody will abuse somebody, they will cheat on somebody, or they will get cheated. So either ways, it's not like that. The overall chart matters. Just like for profession, for marriage, you have to identify. Like recently, there was a person who consulted me. He was having some problems in his marriage, and he's telling me that maybe my gut feeling is saying things will move to divorce. And then when I saw his chart, I was like, and he asked me, please tell me the truth, will I get divorced? He doesn't have children. And then I told him, yes, it's important for you to know, will you get divorced or not? But even more important than that is to understand and know yourself, not for others, for your own sake, not even for your spouse. It's more important for you to know, should you be married at all to somebody? Do you have that attitude of being a husband or a wife? Which I didn't see in his chart. And he said, yes, I agree to it. I i don't have the mindset of a husband. And then I said, yes, maybe in the next 2 3 years, when some one negative dasha is coming up, maybe you will most likely separate from your spouse, not because your spouse will cheat on you or you will cheat on them or whatever, but you do not have that fundamental basic uh, attitude, mindset, and even you don't feel the need to be somebody's husband. So then how can you continue a marriage? And then one bad dasha comes in, that's it. And then I suggested him that if you if you cannot be a husband to a woman, then better don't repeat this the next time. Do not uh, spoil or ruin somebody else's life, right? And then of course this person was having, I won't say affair, but this person has had kind of affairs with two ladies, and within the marriage, and the wife is a bit suspicious or aware or not aware or whatever, but she's not fully aware. But nonetheless, this person cannot stay committed to one person. So for him, if he marries, it will create havoc. So so therefore, first you have to identify, should I marry? Yes or no. If not, then don't ask questions like, when will I get married, how will I marry? Like, people are only interested in the The first part, the second and the third areas, how will be my partner? Will be attractive, beautiful, or rich or affluent, smart, whatever. But do you have that which it takes to have a marriage for 50 years? Do you have that? If no, then don't waste somebody's life. Okay. Okay, so the same works with profession. The same concept works with profession also. Ravali is saying, sir, simple remedies for Leo Lagna and Cancer Lagna to get positive vibes. Again, I wish there was. There's no magic remedy. Magic only happens in movies, it doesn't happen in real life. Real life is hard work, it takes efforts, commitment, and sacrifice. Okay, I'm seeing so many people are retracting their messages nonetheless. Okay, Angel Aura is saying, so is dharma also considered while career predictions for better? Of course, absolutely. That's the first thing we consider. That is why it comes before artha. Otherwise, it would be after, right? These are progressions. Okay, Snow Fox is asking 10th. I'm sorry, I can't answer this. रवाली जी सिंह सर घर पे पति का कुंडली इफेक्ट करता है या वाइफ का बैड दशा तो इसमें दोनों का इफेक्ट करेगा लेकिन कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि समटाइम्स मे बी आई शुड ट्रांसलेट इट somebody is asking in the house so whose chart is affected, the husband or the wife. For both it will be affected, but sometimes what happens is, let me give you an example. Both are working and the wife is having some health problem in a dasha, so then she might take off some time from the profession and she may stay in the house, she may take rest, and that will affect the husband to some extent. There will be tension, mental anxiety, and like depressing thoughts sometimes. But on the parallel, if the husband's horoscope is showing that he has a great dasha for profession, so that will also happen parallelly. But it is but natural that if the wife has serious problems, then it will also affect the husband. But for serious problems, it has to be indicated in the husband's chart. Only then it will happen. Okay. Okay, Ashwin Kumar is saying, can you tell about in D9 Pisces ascendant Mars is exalted in ninth house and also 11th Lord Saturn is exalted in 8th house and Venus is in ninth house. Where is your sun? Where's your moon? What's your D1? What's your D10? I don't know. So how do I answer? Right? RMV2 is saying to be extremely wealthy, one must have at least one debilitated planet, must have planet sitting in own house and may or may not with exalted planets. Niche Phang Rajuva works strongly for wealth. Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Let's see. Okay. Snow Fox is saying, I have zero money in third, zero planet in third, and I make good money with marketing. Okay. See, just because you don't have a planet in third house, it doesn't mean you can't make money with marketing. You have to see what is going on in the chart. So maybe your third house is connected to the artha houses through nakshatra. Okay, then also you can make money. But as a general dictum, I shared. But it's great you are making good money with marketing. That's great. Hyderabadi thoughts is saying, what are some myths of Kal Sarp dosha? Yeah, I mean, it's like endless number of myths. You will die at the age of 8, or some say 16, some say 32. I don't know. It's primarily related to death. Okay, but these are all myths. It doesn't work like that. Sujan Tiffany is saying, so what about 11th Lord in Maga Nakshatra in 11th house? Yeah, that's a good placement. But then good for what, right? That your chart will say. Hanail Netzach is asking, how do we find what business to get into? That is what we discussed today, right? That is exactly what we discussed. So if you joined later, then you can please watch, or if you joined before, then maybe you can watch it again. Okay, if there's some interesting generic questions. Meenakshi S. Hiremat is asking, how we should know which dasha is good in birth chart? Please explain, sir. So there's a simple thing, every astrological event is related to some houses. So if the dashas of planets are activated which are lording that house or sitting in that house, then that dasha is good for that event. So for example, if um, Jupiter is in the seventh house, for example, so then in the dasha of Jupiter you can get married. And the other thumb rule is, if a dasha is activated which is 12th to a house, that is not that great for that particular event. So if a planet is in sixth house and the dasha of that planet or the lord of the sixth house starts, then you can have problems in marriage, because sixth house is 12th to the seventh house. So that's a thumb rule basically. But this does not work for every case in positive or negative terms. Like for example, if the ninth lord's dasha comes, does it mean it will be bad for the 12th house because it's 12th? No, it is not bad, but it can transfer you to another job. Okay, that's a bit painful nonetheless sometimes. Or maybe you change your job, even then there is some pain, like you have to change and you have to meet new people and all this, so some pain will always be there, even if it is the ninth house. Yes, that's how the world works. Jharkhand Education is asking, sir, what should be the combination one can go the other state and make money? There's no combination as such, but if your Artha houses are related to the third, ninth, and 12th, then this can happen. But there is no explicit combination which indicates this. Okay. Oh, where are the questions? My God. Indrani Gupta is asking, hi, could you kindly give some remedy for making Venus strong? I have a video 15 Venus remedies. Please go and watch that. I hope that helps you. Japjeet Kaur is saying, sir, what about Jupiter Mahadasha and Mercury Antardasha for UPSC? I have spoken about it in the video, so please watch it, okay? In today's era, Mercury is most first important planet, okay? Bhavesh Bej thus is asking, how to clear bad karmas? Can you guide? I mean, this is like a very big topic, but in general, you can do fasting, you can do charities, and all this. Fasting is very important. Okay, that is something you can do. Oops, I have to stop the live. My mom is giving me a phone call. Just a second. Okay. Remedy for bad moon and Venus. I have videos on moon remedies, and Venus remedies. Please watch them, Indraniji. I hope they will help you. Suju Biji is asking, how can we work on fixed karmas like a complete denial of marriage? We cannot. If there is a complete denial, there's no workaround. Yes, that's how it is. But again, that is again very ambiguous, like fixed karma. How do you know if it is fixed? So there is no one magic shot to know if it's a fixed karma. But how do you know if, for marriage especially, if so if you are 25, and for you, if the next 50 years, the mahadashas which are coming. So for example, if your Rahu Mahadasha starts when you are 25, then Guru Mahadasha, then Shani Mahadasha. So 18 plus 16 plus 19. How many is it? Like, it's bizarre. So if these three planets back to back, whose dashas you are getting, if they are denying marriage, then if Mahadasha denies marriage, then marriage is not possible. But in this case, if three Mahadashas are denying it back to back, now of course, Mercury Mahadasha comes, when you are, I don't know what age, and then you say, oh, yeah, yeah, now Mercury is letting me get married, but maybe you can count, like 25 plus 18 plus 16 plus 19, and then Mercury starts, you can marry at that time, but it is almost like a denial, okay, even if you marry. So yeah, that's how it is. You have to see. So for marriage, you need to see the Mahadashas, okay, that's very important. Suju Biji is saying, please make a video on significance of 12 Adityas of our sun god. Okay, sure. Thank you for the suggestion. I will make it. Aparajita is asking, सीनियर गवर्नमेंट जॉब क्रैक करने के लिए कौन सा हाउस देखा जाता है? दशम और एकादश और सूर्य चंद्र देखा जाता है। आप देख सकते हैं ये वीडियो, इसमें बहुत बार बताया मैंने इसके बारे में, तो फिर से दोबारा देखिए, आपको समझ में आएगा। Okay. In today's world, RMV2 is saying planet with Nij Bhanga Raj Yoga is greater than its exalted state. Exalted state is what one has gained by birth, which he don't value. But in Nij Bhang, person create his kingdom. Okay, interesting. Okay. Dr. Tejashree C is asking, please can you explain few daily remedies or practices that welcome positivity and wealth, that is practice which can help us tune into Venus blessings? So I have three videos. I have videos on remedies of Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus. And Jupiter. They are filled with daily lifestyle practices. So watch these 4 5 videos and club everything together, and there you will find your ideal lifestyle. Okay. Okay. बबीता जी सिंह, हिंदी में भी बनाए कृपया। जरूर जरूर जरूर। Apurva is asking, does visiting pilgrims help moving karma faster? It's a very bad attitude to do pilgrimage in a mood to clean off karma. Like people do this in India. हाँ, पाप धुलेंगे हमारे, इसीलिए हम तीर्थ यात्रा में जा रहे हैं. So this is very prevalent, unfortunately, in India. But and it's better than doing nothing. I agree, but not the best way. Okay. Okay, one or two last queries. Kushwant Fatnani, IIT GNE saying, sir, your videos have been a great help in learning more. Okay, thank you so much for watching. That's very good to know. Thank you so much. Okay, can you please check the wealth situation in my chart? Again, one last time, please do not give your personal birth details anywhere. Not in this chat, not in any video, nowhere. It's not good for you. Please don't do it. I will delete this comment, otherwise it will be there for eternity for everybody to see. So I'm just removing your comment. Okay. I connects 1589. Okay, so thank you very much, 80 90 people today. It was great to discuss on the profession. So the conclusion is, we should see first what should this person do in his or her profession. And then, of course, we can see when are good dashas coming, when are good dashas not coming, when are bad dashas coming. So we can see all this together. Okay. Okay. What is this? Lena is saying, hello, sir. Remember me? I shared my personal. But oh, yeah, yes, I remember. What do you explain why not to? Yes, yes, yes. I said, I think that I started with you. Okay. Thank you so much for not sharing it today because it's not the best thing to do. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great evening if you are in India, and I guess it's evening here also in Europe. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll see each other soon then. Jai Shri Ram.